has been some big news that I'd love to tackle with you, in that Carson Wentz is not only hurt, most people watching this already might know that, out 5 to 12 weeks, pretty wide range there, but also now Quenton Nelson, the stud guard, best guard in Pro Football Focus's grades last year, is also now out with pretty much the same exact injury, they're labeling it, which is wild. I loved your tweet today where you tweeted out, Michael Scott from The Office and his foot on ice and whatnot, but so true. It's obviously got to have some sort of, I don't know how big of an impact it's going to have in your rankings, but I'd love to break that down with you. Is this shaking anything up for you in the Colts players?
Well, in the passing side, not so much. I mean, look, I sort of believed in the hope for resurrection of Carson Wentz. And I sort of believed in it last year. Obviously, it didn't happen. But this year I thought, okay, he's back with Frank Reich. He's behind a good offensive line. Like, maybe this is the year it can happen. Now with him out anywhere between 5 to 12 weeks, which to me seems like an odd range of time, right. But what do I know? I just write about fake football for a living. I feel like he's undraftable at this point, right? Because you were hoping for the best with him. You weren't expecting it necessarily. And now knowing that he could miss, a couple, 3 months, it's just impossible to draft him. On the same front, I love Michael Pittman. Part of it, I will admit, is being a USC homer and always rooting for Trojans wherever I can. But part of it is also that I do believe he can blossom into something really good. I felt like the Colts wide receivers were sort of speculative at best, right? Like you were taking a shot at Pittman in the kind of the middle to late rounds. I don't know how, depending on how you feel about Paris Campbell or Zach Pascal or somebody like that, or an old T.Y. Hilton, maybe you're taking a shot at them. Now, I don't know how much you're really drafting those guys, if at all. I think Pittman still retains some value, but even then, he's late in the draft at this point. So it's hard to get really excited about them. The one guy that I thought we could sort of hold on to, though, through all this was going to be Jonathan Taylor. But then losing Quenton Nelson ends up being a huge blow to Jonathan Taylor. I was seeing him go in the top 5, top 6 picks consistently leading up until now. I am very curious to see what's going to happen to him in the next week or so, how that ADP takes a hit, because it's definitely going to take a hit. I think what sort of keeps him afloat is knowing the volume he's going to get. If they really are going to run with Jacob Eason at quarterback, that means they're going to have to lean pretty heavily potentially on Jonathan Taylor. So I think that volume still sort of keeps him afloat. And maybe in the fringe RB1 sort of range. But I think anybody who was taking shots at him with like the 6th pick in their draft, that suddenly becomes a little bit too rich, because I don't think he can give you now the return on that draft investment.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, especially given that he was fairly game script dependent last year. And you got to imagine the Colts aren't going to be leading all too early and often, at least until Wentz and the line are fully back and intact. So it's that kind of balance of, yes, they're going to lean on that run game a lot more if and when they can. They might have to abandon it earlier if they get down a lot too. So it is such a tricky balance. I haven't finished fully finalizing my rankings in the aftermath, but he's definitely taken a hit. And I'm kind of debating, do I put him below, say, an even Antonio Gibson or one of those levels of guys? So we will see kind of where it all shakes out with him, these other sophomore running backs. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.